It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Showtime, Geno Jones Showtime. Welcome. Thank you for watching. 7:30 p.m. here on the East Coast, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Chicago, I see you. Stand up, Memphis. Stand strong. Central Time. Everybody else on Central Time. Live in Los Angeles and Las Vegas, where Chris Brown is taking over Vegas this weekend. The Breezy Bowl tour comes to Las Vegas Friday and Saturday, but he's going to stop in San Diego on Wednesday. 4:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Attention, we are about 85 new subscribers away from becoming a YouTube partner. That means that YouTube will monetize my media channel, this YouTube channel, and they'll monetize my media company. So it's so important that we support black-owned business. Speaking of supporting black-owned businesses, the Geno Jones Show brought to you by Kojo, LLC.com. COJOLLC.com. Kojo, Courtney Johnson. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Carolinas, South or North Carolina, 843-543-4022. 843 area code 543 4022, 843-543-4022. As a matter of fact, Courtney's Corner is going to be returning soon. We had a great Courtney's Corner episode talking about the importance of having insurance, various forms of insurance, including life insurance, and some creative things that you can do with life insurance. So it's a great episode. So make sure you go back and watch it from last Thursday. Last Thursday. All right, we got one hell of a show. Every show is one hell of a show. I got a guest coming up. He is a retired Master Sergeant, 20 plus years, the U.S. Marines, and he's got something to say about how our military is being used. And he's got a lot to say, and he's got the receipts and the scars and the right. He has earned the right. The hard way. He has earned the right to speak about how the military is used, being a veteran and coming from a family. Full disclosure, he is one of my first cousins. So he's going to talk, just give his perspective. He and I had a conversation over the weekend, and he brought something to my attention, and I didn't really notice it, but it was very important. So he's got a very important perspective, and I can't wait for him to come back on camera shortly and tell us all about it. But first of all, I need to congratulate somebody from this area. We call it the Low Country area. So Georgetown, South Carolina is only about, 45 minutes away, just north. It's like, so basically Georgetown, South Carolina, which is Michelle Obama's family, I believe on her, is it her mom or her dad's side? It might be her mom. Roots are in Georgetown, South Carolina. Also, Chris Rock, his mom, for years, lived in Georgetown because people who live in Georgetown is part of our listening area from our radio station. Chris Rock's mom used to call me all the time on the radio. I remember when she first called, she said, my name is Mrs. Rock something. She said, oh, you probably know my son, Chris. I said, Chris Rock? Like, the comedian? She was like, yeah, but she was kind of like nonchalant about it. So a lot of people, Georgetown, a rich history. So shout out to Melissa Jefferson Wooden. So Melissa won a gold medal, the 4x100 relay race. The U.S. women won a gold medal at the Paris Olympics last summer. And she won a gold and a bronze medal at the Olympics last summer. Well, the World Championship track meet, they had this huge, the World Track Championship. It was in Tokyo, Japan this year. And Melissa Jefferson Wooden won a gold medal in the 100-meter race. As a matter of fact, the fastest woman on the planet this year. She won the gold medal. She won the finals. the 100-meter race finals. So she is the world champion in the 100-meter race for women. She set a record, a new world championship record, 10.61 seconds. 10 seconds. Sister, that's like fast. And that was the fourth fastest time for that race, 100-meter race in history. I think FloJo did 10:49. Florence Griffith Joyner, we all know and love her. That was way back in the late 80s. That was almost 40 years ago. So big shout out to Melissa Jefferson Wooden, representing not just USA, representing South Carolina, representing Georgetown. Stand up, my sister. Congratulations to you. Wow. Got that gold medal World Track Championship. So I just thought I would point that out. All right, I'm going to be bringing on my guest pretty soon. As a matter of fact, I'm monitoring the camera. His live shot should come back up. So on this show, one of my main mottos is tell the truth, shame the devil. I got that from my grandmother, Jean Jones. She used to always say, she would say, tell the truth, shame the devil. And she would also tell, like, my sisters and myself, like if we called ourselves kind of tattletaling, as we used to say, that's an old school term, tattletale or snitch. My grandmother would say, all right, if you're going to tell it all. So if you're going to start telling on each other, then tell on yourself too. Bottom line, tell the truth, shame the devil. That's what we do. We're going to tell it. We're going to tell the truth. And none of us are above reproach. And none of us are above having the truth told about us. And we are not above telling the truth. Now, a lot of folks don't want to hear the truth. They don't want you to know the truth. They have some truths about themselves, truth that they don't want you to know about. This show, we tell the truth, shame the devil. And how you live is your truth. What you do, what you say is your truth. Now, I said this last week for those who watched the show last week, if you missed it. By the way, the show is interactive. So if you got a question or a comment, feel free, jump in that chat room. Or if you're just watching, let me know you're watching. Let me know where you're watching so I can shout you out, shout out where you're from, and shout out anybody else. Like I said, if you got a question or comment, you can jump on in here if you want to. Tread lightly. I'm just giving you a heads up. So we start from the premise on this show, tell the truth, shame the devil. If you're going to tell it all. So we're going to tell you all that we can with all the facts that we have, that we know, that we have researched and put the work in. All the facts that we have at our disposal in real time, I will give them to you. If I make a mistake, I will be the first one to raise my hand. I will own my mistake. I will correct my mistake. I will atone. I will apologize and atone for my mistake. But what I will not do is I will not come on here and lie to you or anyone else. And I will not be intimidated. I will not be, and this hasn't happened to me, but I am just stating for the record that I will not be intimidated and my voice will not be silenced when it comes to telling the truth. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Now that's what we do. Now last week, I mentioned that no one should lose their life. No one has the right to take somebody else's life. Now, if you are in a situation where it's self-defense, that's a whole different conversation, and this is not part of this conversation. So, and you have a right. You have a First Amendment right to say what you think, speak your opinion, give your opinion. At the same time, we all will be and should be held accountable. That we are accountable whether you want to be or not. Every one of us, we are accountable for what we say and what we do and how we live our life, which is the truth. Period. Now, once again, on this show, in life, I do not condone violence. That is not my default position. I will do anything and everything in my power to avoid violence. Violence, in most cases, is a sign of weakness because I don't equate self-defense with violence. Now, even some people will kind of warp and try to remix, disguise violence in the vein of self-defense. No. Once again, tell the truth, shame the devil. So, we don't condone violence. There was a murder of a popular MAGA activist. You've heard this person's name, Charlie Kirk. No excuse. I do not condone anyone losing their life. And is racist and is hateful as this person was, with all the racist and hateful things that he has said on camera, on a podcast, on radio, none of that justifies him being killed. None of it. Not at all. However, it's not even a however. We are all accountable for how we live our life. And no matter how horrible, heinous, criminal, how just you name it, what act of evil, hatred, sickness that would cause someone to shoot and kill him or anyone, that is absolutely inexcusable. It doesn't change how you live your life. Whatever you've done in life, whatever you have done and said, has been done and said. It is on the record whether you want it. It's on the record. Because if you believe in a higher power, on Judgment Day, yes, we all will be judged by what we do and say. Period, full stop. So the things that especially when you say them in public, on camera, and behind a microphone, the things that you say and the things that you do are on record. And you have to stand on that business. And that's entirely separate from how one may die. But once again, no matter how hateful and evil a person is with their words and their actions, that justify anyone else taking their life. Because as my mother taught me, God didn't die and leave you in charge. So none of us have the right to determine who lives and who dies. As a person living in the flesh on this planet, none of us, whatever you believe or don't believe, none of us have that power. Nobody gave us that power. But I will go back to remind people that people will acknowledge, just like myself, I got 5 years worth of shows here. And I stand on business. I stand by everything that I've said. When I've made mistakes, I've corrected the mistakes. And if I've made a mistake and I haven't been corrected or nobody brings it to my attention, if it's brought to my attention with facts and receipts, I will be the first one to correct that mistake. But how you lose your life does not change how you lived your life. And the two are separate. And because one loses their life does not erase the good or bad or evil or hateful or racist things that you say and do in life. That is your record, that is your legacy, that is your history. Now, there's been so much confusion about this person, Charlie Kirk. A lot of people in the black community didn't know who this person was. And why I mention that is because it's ironic that a lot of these MAGA supporters attacked black people in general. You had HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, that had to shut down because there were bomb threats to these campuses. There were threats to individual black people. You've had black professors that were intimidated and threatened by fans of Charlie Kirk before he was even killed. So you had a lot of this venom that was pointed toward black Americans. Some felt that black America, they weren't sympathetic enough. They didn't have enough compassion and empathy. Now this is odd because Charlie Kirk himself said he didn't believe in empathy, that empathy was something like an illness. His own words. As a matter of fact, let me give you, for those who are wondering, okay, so there was so much talk about this guy. Geno, who was he? He was basically a MAGA right-wing activist, a 31 podcast, and he was known for saying his, they say, political beliefs. That was really kind of sanitizing. He was known for his racist, sexist, openly unapologetic, racist, sexist, misogynist, homophobic, but it extremely had a really thing about black people. Really had a hard-on for black people. And don't take my word for it. I'm just going to give you, because I could spend the next hour quoting all the things that he said. But I'm going to just give you a few, and then you can find the video right here on YouTube. There are plenty of platforms and shows that's got video clips, like montages of like some of his, some people call greatest hits, most racist statements, outlandish and racist things. But let's just start with saying that Michelle Obama, Joy Reid, used to be on MSNBC, who has a show on YouTube, and Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. Ironically, all three of these women educated at one of the most prestigious academic institutions on the planet, Harvard. Did Charlie Kirk go to Harvard? No. Never. Not as a student. I don't even know. For the record, I'm not certain that he actually finished college. But he definitely didn't have the academic receipts of Michelle Obama, Joy Reid, or Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, Sheila Jackson Lee, because he mentioned those four. Said they were affirmative action hires, and this is his exact quote from one Charlie Kirk, that you, Joy Reid, Michelle Obama, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, and Sheila Johnson Lee, who passed away. She had been in the U.S. House of Representatives. Her district was one of the districts in Texas for many years. That those black women didn't have the brain processing power to be taken seriously. That they had to steal a white person's slot. Four of these women graduated from Harvard College. Michelle Obama then went on and got her law degree. I think from, I don't know if it was Princeton. She got her law degree from an Ivy League school. And this dude, who didn't attend any Ivy League college, is going to speak on their brain processing power. Then he went on to say, if I see a black pilot, if I get on a plane and if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, I hope he's qualified. You hope he's qualified? So you think that any airlines, all these major airlines, United, Delta, Southwest, would just stick a black person in there who hadn't logged thousands of flight hours, that had actually had a history? A lot of black pilots were actually pilots in the military. So did Charlie Kirk really think that any of these major airlines would somehow put their company's financial health that would risk being sued for hundreds of millions to billions of dollars for putting an unqualified pilot behind a cockpit? He knew better than that. Then he went on, here's another one. They're prowling blacks. They're prowling blacks, going around just for fun to target white people. Oh, he also said that Dr. King was awful and a bad person, that the passing of the Civil Rights Act was a mistake, and that when black people in America did not have the same rights that they have today, there was less murder. They were less murderers, less break-ins. That's just a few of the racist things. I didn't even get into the misogynist, the sexist and misogynist stuff like women should stay at home and they shouldn't vote. That's what Charlie Kirk said. So this week, what we all need to understand is that we all have to take accountability for the things that we do and say, how we live our life. But how we live our life does not give anyone the license to take our life, your life, any life. Not at all. But you've got this MAGA cult who are basically trying to silence anyone that would point out the fact that this man that he used racism and hatred and fear, and he profited off of it, because that is a fact. You can go look at any podcast of Charlie Kirk and see all the racist things that he said every day he did a podcast for years. Made $92 million a year. Went around colleges saying racist things. Unapologetically. And we get into these debates and, well, I'm all about free speech. Yeah, you utilize free speech to espouse hate speech. You still have that right. But that's a fact. And once again, all the hate speech that you delivered in no way justified anybody taking your life, because nobody had the right to take his life. But this MAGA cult, you're not going to intimidate, because they want to intimidate and punish people who don't see this guy as a saint. Some of these MAGA cult members are trying to compare him to Dr. King, which is an insult. But the bigger play here is that the MAGA cult are going to use Charlie Kirk's death as a way to try to silence anyone that would criticize Orange Hitler, Donald Trump, his administration, that would criticize this white Christian nationalist, this racist white Christian nationalist movement, and any of those that espouse these white Christian nationalist beliefs that is rooted in racism and sexism and misogyny. That's not my opinion. That is, not only is it a fact, you can listen to Stephen Miller or Steve Bannon. Just Google those names. Steve Bannon, hate speech. Stephen Miller, hate speech. Charlie Kirk, racist hate speech. It's easy to find. You don't have to take my word for it. You can find it yourself after this show. So you got to understand the bigger play is that those MAGA cult members, as a matter of fact, your president, Orange Hitler, said that he couldn't care less. This is a quote, that I couldn't care less about bringing the country together. When there's been nobody, there's been more divisive, that has said more racist things, and they try to reverse engineer people like Megyn Kelly that said, oh, Barack Obama, he introduced race into our political. Megyn, stop. You smarter than that. I don't know how smart you are, but you're smarter than that. How did Barack Obama, so race was never injected into any kind of politics. The civil rights movement, voting rights movement, segregation, Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow was a set of laws written into our politics, our legal system. These were laws that were written and passed by politicians. And this heifer had the nerve to say that Barack Obama was the one that introduced race into our politics because he was a black man, just because of the skin he was in, because he had melanin. So he's the one that introduced all this racism, and he was divisive because he won. He was the most anti-divisive. As a matter of fact, he got criticized a lot by even the black community because they felt that he wasn't forceful enough speaking out about race. But understand that this MAGA cult and Orange Hitler, they're going to use the death of Charlie Kirk to try to silence their own critics so they can continue to engage in just violating the Constitution, basically shredding the Constitution and just saying, fuck the Constitution. I'm the king, I can do what I want to do. I'll send the military into cities, regardless whether or not the governors who control the National Guard in their states, whether they want to or not. I'll federalize the National Guard. I'll send the National Guard from other states into your state and your city, which is a violation of a law called the Posse Comitatus law. But he didn't give a damn. So this is all about power and money. Because I got to bring on my guest, my guest, who is the retired Master Sergeant, U.S. Marines, over 20 years military service. We want to bring him on. But I will just wrap this segment up by just saying, follow the money. This is about money and power. And this is about a person that will use any opportunity to seize power and to use the death of somebody that he said was a friend, to use that to seize more power, to misuse the military, to try to silence their critics, to allow them to continue to engage in racist acts, snatching people up off the street without due process, to taking away more of your rights, to taking away basically the programs that you need, your health care, your SNAP benefits, Pell Grants, all kind of financial government programs, make it harder for you and your family to get vaccines, to give his billionaire crew more money. And not to mention the billionaires that are invested and that own companies that benefit from racism and hatred and bigotry and fear and misogyny and sexism. Because once again, hatred in any and all of its forms, racism and misogyny and sexism and homophobia has always been big business. It always has. All right. So, okay, I think my guest, let me see. Let me give him a call. So, my guest is a retired Master Sergeant. Was in the Marines for over 20 years. I'm going to reach out to him. Did he send me a text? Okay. I'm going to call him. So he and I had a conversation. As a matter of fact, he's been on the show before. He is the official military expert for the Geno Jones Show. And let me see.
I got you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. I'm bringing you on. I didn't see you. I'm still on camera live now. So come on down if you're ready.
Yeah, I see you.
See, that's what I love about live TV. So anyway, over 20 years in the Marines, retired Master Sergeant. As a matter of fact, full disclosure, he not only is the military expert for the Geno Jones Show, he was one of my first cousins. And I actually come from a family, a long line of family members who have served in the military. My grandfather actually served in World War I. My maternal uncle was in the U.S. Navy. And my cousin who's about to come on camera, his dad was, I believe, in the Air Force. He'll explain all that to you. I know his brother was also his late brother.
I lost the video, man.
You did? I can hear you, but yeah, I don't see the video.
Yeah.
Well, maybe log out and try to log out and come back in.
What happened here?
See if that works. So he lost his video. That's what happened. He lost his video. Lost the shot, but I can hear it. I can hear him. But anyway, we come from a long line of family members that have served in the military. And if we can get his live shot up, if not, we'll definitely get him back on later in the week, maybe Thursday.
Let me try to log back in.
Yeah,
here.
log back in. So, but once again, everybody.
Okay, can you see me now?
No, not yet. I still see with your name up, the little black box with your name up. But if you just tuned in, hey, Rosalind, let me shout out some folks that's watching me live. Once again, if you're watching the show, I'd love to get your take. Feel free to leave your comments or question in the chat room. The show is interactive. When I'm on camera live, Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 4:30 p.m. live in Los Angeles and Las Vegas, where Chris Brown will be. He will be taking over, not the Vegas Strip, but he'll be taking over Las Vegas Friday and Saturday night. The Breezy Bowl Tour takes over Viva Las Vegas. But before that, he'll be going to San Diego, the home of Ron Burgundy, Anchorman, the legendary fictional character Ron Burgundy. I'm a huge fan of the movie Anchorman. Shout out to Will Ferrell, just a funny dude. Once again, I just want to remind everybody that we all have to be accountable for the life that we live, how we treat people, how we mistreat people, how we love people, how we hate people. We are all accountable.
Did that get it?
Yep. So stand by. I'm ready to bring you on right now. But just in closing, before I bring on my guest, no matter how you die and how unfortunate, horrible, tragic, and criminal one may die, it does not change the fact of how you lived your life and the things that you did and said. And that's your record. And that goes with you. That doesn't change. Your death doesn't change how you lived your life. And it doesn't mean once a person leaves this planet, does not mean that they cannot be held accountable, good or bad, for the things that they've done. That's all of us. All of us. Me, you, all of us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I've introduced him, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Retired Master Sergeant Mr. Roy Gray. Full
Oh,
disclosure, like I said, this is one of my first cousins. I do come from a lot. Now I was the hothead, so I was, Mr. Radio TV star, Mr. Funny Man, comedian and actor and all that. But I come from a long line of family members, like I said, from my grandfather, maternal grandfather, who was in World War One. I don't know, cuz if you knew that, as y'all called him Cousin Conway, he was actually in World War One. And
so
and then of course my maternal uncle, you remember Uncle Charles? They call him.
oh yeah,
They used to call him Ray Charles. Charles
yeah,
Rayford.
oh yeah,
He was in the Navy, and of
of
course
course.
your dad, your brother, your spouse. But I'll let you tell your story. So thank you for coming on. So listen, I brought you on, and for my viewers, so I brought Master Sergeant Gray on because he pointed something out that he noticed the way that some military members they were being utilized, and because one of the reasons because I didn't serve, it was something that I kind of overlooked because I just saw a short little video clip, and then when you brought it to my attention, Master Sergeant Gray, I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize that. So I want you to speak about you, and I know you represent many retired veterans who are not really happy the way our military is being misused. So I'm gonna let you speak to that. I'm gonna let you cook. I'll toss you the mic. I've talked enough, so please educate us.
All right. First of all, let me say I don't condone any kind of violence in any way, shape, or form. And number two, let me say this: I'm going to apologize ahead of time. This whole thing makes my blood boil. So if I happen to slip and curse, I'm going to apologize now
Oh, you ain't
before I
gotta
get
apologize.
started.
It's all good. Hey, like I said, as y'all called her cousin Jean, as mommy said, tell the truth, shame the devil.
Yeah. Now, look, I want everybody to know I am a true patriot and a veteran. And I take offense when I see the Air Force Honor Guard carrying this racist man's coffin. The vice president had his hand on the man's coffin because that's supposedly his best friend. It makes no difference. He's still a racist. I don't care how you push it. They're honoring him in the halls of Congress today with his picture and everything. This type of stuff should be reserved for veterans, not racists and people who are spreading hate. Now, according to him, Black people only get ahead through DEI and affirmative action. I did 20 years in the Marines. My wife did 22. My daughter did 20 years. And all my other family members who have served in every branch except the Coast Guard. We earned every fucking stripe that we got. Every stripe. Every stripe that we have. And this racist has the nerve to say that we only got through this because somebody gave us something. I can guarantee you the Marine Corps won't give you anything. They don't give you a damn thing. Nothing but 3 meals and a cot. That's it. You have to earn your stripes. And that's what we did. So it pisses me off when I didn't know who this guy was until I started doing research and finding out the things that he had said. And that just made my blood boil even more. That everybody is honoring this man, this racist, and will not tell the things that he has really done. Now, like I said, once again, he's saying DEI and affirmative action is the only way that Black people have gotten ahead. Bullshit. While some of you were eating Cheerios and watching cartoons, veterans like myself were standing guard at the gate, keeping the boogeyman out. But you wouldn't know that because you're too busy being racist and hatred and spreading that crap around to all these younger people in the college who've never broke a sweat a day in their lives, including him. He knows nothing about us and Black people and the struggles that we've had and the things that we have done. We are this country's most loyal citizen. We have fought and died in every war and been treated like shit before, during, and after. And now here today, 2025, we have to put up with some bullshit like this from an asshole who preaches hate every day, and everybody's patting him on the back like he's the next freaking pope. Give me a break. What's this country coming to? This racism and hatred is going to bring us down. Just in case you haven't noticed, the world is lining up against us. Russia, China, Africa, India, they don't need us. But
North
we are
Korea. Remember they had
North
the big
Korea.
summit about 2 weeks
Yes,
ago. You had
exactly.
Putin, the president of China, President Xi, that crazy president of North Korea, Kim
Yeah,
Jong-un. They had some African leaders there. You mentioned that. So
exactly. They don't need us, but we are so blinded by hate and discrimination, we don't realize that we got a target on our back. When Pearl Harbor happened, the Japanese didn't say, well, let's wait till all the white people leave and then we'll bomb Pearl Harbor. When 9/11 happened, they didn't say, well, let's wait till all the black people get out of the building and then we'll destroy the buildings. These people are trying to kill Americans, and that is all of us. And if you don't wake up and realize that and stop all of this unnecessary bullshit with this racism and hatred, we will not survive. We will not survive, but we will all die together. Because if you don't think we have a target on our back, you're wrong, because we do. The rest of the world, they know we're weak right now, and they know we are separate. It wouldn't surprise me if the Chinese attack Thailand tomorrow. We had better wake up. Better wake up. You got all, rich men have controlled this country forever, and they're still doing it. They don't care about any of us. Wake up. We will not last if we don't wake up and stop all of this hate and stop these people like this man, and I'm not going to say his name, from teaching all of this hate to a new generation of people. But when it comes to the military, stay away from it because you don't know what you're talking about. I earned every last one of my goddamn stripes. I'm limping right now. I'm getting ready to have surgery in December, all because of crap in the military. You know nothing about the military, and you're dishonoring the military by allowing them to carry this man's coffin. These are things that are reserved for veterans, people who have died and shed blood for this country.
So, Master Sergeant, let me ask you: do you, what is? I can imagine, but I want to get your take. The conversations that I know you've had with fellow veterans, and veterans, not just black veterans, but veterans, white, even though this whole race construct is a con. And I've talked about that. Race has been utilized. It's like a hustle. Race is one of the greatest hustles. That very rich people, billionaires now, millionaires maybe 100 years ago, which are billionaires now, came up with all the way back to the 1680s. Because it was created for a small handful of people to maintain and gain more economic, social, and political power. And I see that happening now because I see people using this death of Mr. Kirk, the right-wing, podcaster and basically MAGA activists. I see them, this MAGA cult, at least the billionaires at the top, because what they're trying to do is to attack anybody that didn't agree with them. Oh, the left, the blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But nobody has espoused more hate than Orange Hitler. So off the dome right there. But I see a play as there's a larger play. This is an opportunity for the cult leader to seize more power. He's already misused the military. Chicago is like not so fast. So now he's going to Memphis because they have a MAGA governor in Tennessee that's allowing this to happen. Exactly. But I see this as a way to really just take more of everybody's rights, including poor and working class, MAGA red hat wearing white folks. They will come for you. I promise. They despise you. Listen, you all's commander in chief said that men and women in the military were losers and suckers. His words. Exactly. He said
Exactly.
that. I didn't make that up. Master Sergeant Gray, who served. So men like that, men and women, losers and suckers. When he, J.D. Vance, Charlie Kirk, none of them served in the military.
None of them.
So what is the conversation like, and what are some of the suggestions that you guys may have in terms of somehow trying to bring this country together, Master Sergeant? Because in the military, you listen. People come in with, I'm sure, with their own bias and prejudice, but when the real enemy is shooting at you, see all that.
Yeah.
You can correct me if I'm wrong. I know we've had
Yeah.
conversations. It's amazing how quick that racism will fly right out the
Oh yeah.
window when
Disappeared immediately. Immediately. You can't be a real Marine, a real soldier, or a real airman if you're racist, because you have to take care of the men and women around you and below you. You don't have time for all that racist crap. But Donald Trump and all these other people are bringing this stuff in and trying to separate us and divide us. But when trouble comes, I guarantee you, you forget about that stuff real quick when somebody's trying to slit your throat. You will forget about it real quick. And it's a shame that these men are trying to, on the Republican side, are trying to divide us the way they are. And also, white people everywhere. I don't care if you live in Appalachia or if you live in Beverly Hills or wherever. I know damn well every time you go to the grocery store, your bill is it's almost like you're shopping for 20 people.
a box of
So
cereal, a giant
yeah.
box of cereal is now $10.
So you're already being affected, but for some reason, you don't want to admit what's going on. You better wake up
It's
because,
could you speak to the men and women who are being misused, and explain the posse comitatus law and how Orange Hitler is circumventing that, getting around that. And
man,
if you could just speak
well,
to, because I'm sure you've had conversations with some active duty
look,
members in the
I'm gonna
National
break it
Guard.
down to you. I'm gonna break it down to you like this.
Okay.
Marines don't train to walk around the neighborhood. They train to kill people. Cut and dry. Marine Corps infantry, they train 7 days a week on how to kill our enemies. That's it. They're not training to help people across the street or none of that crap. And so when you put them in situation, it could be the Army infantry, 82nd Airborne, anybody. When you put them in situations like this, if a mistake happens somewhere, they are going to kill somebody because that's what they do. That's what they're trained to do. They are trained to kill people. And when you put them in situations like this, hopefully nothing ever happens. But if it does, they're going to kill somebody because that's what they're trained to do. And so that's why you don't put our regular military into situations like this. Because I remember many years ago, we had some Marines on a base and there was mountains surrounding the base, and they saw some guy up there, and they said he pulled a weapon on him. It was a young guy herding goats or something. They killed him. They killed him, without even a second thought, because that's what they do.
So Master Sergeant, I got a feeling, but I want to get your take because you are on the inside, even as a veteran. That there's some men and women who are active duty members of the National Guard, just even being deployed. That a major part of them do not like the way they're being used. They
No.
do not want to kill their own fellow Americans, sisters and brothers and cousins. Have you had conversations? Have you heard buzz or feedback and yeah, I know it's tricky, especially for those active duty. They could be court-martialed, but I'm sure I saw, as a matter of fact, on a radio show, I heard the mother of one of the National Guard members who said first they weren't getting paid, so she said he was pissed about that, and two, they feel like they feel like pawns, that they're being used, and trying to pit them against fellow Americans for someone to get a political power. Now you got them, what, doing landscaping in D.C. So speak to the conversations, or either direct conversations or maybe third-party conversations that you've heard from National Guard members about how they really feel about being used.
Now, I have not spoken to any National Guard members, but when I see them on television, I can tell you exactly what they're thinking. When you see them guys walking around now amongst themselves, they're saying, when is this bullshit going to be over with so we can go home and stop this stupid ass shit? That's exactly what they're thinking. Because I've been in situations like that, where you have no choice. You have to follow orders. You have no choice. But I'll bet my right arm that they're walking around and saying, man, when the hell are we going to get the hell out of here and go home? Because they don't want to be there, and they don't want to have to do nothing against their own people. It's one thing to go against an enemy of the United States, but when you start talking about shooting at people walking up and down the street, it's a whole nother thing. And that's not what we train for.
I wonder how many, I know you can't put a number to this, but I would imagine, God forbid, if it comes to that, and if they get orders to basically shoot to kill peaceful protesters, at what point will enough people in the military, National Guard, be like, wait, hold on. There's a First Amendment right, just like for those who defended Charlie Kirk's First Amendment right. That's right. Yeah. He had the right to say racist stuff, and you have a right to be ignorant, to be you have a First Amendment right to say hateful things.
Yes.
But at the same time, if your words cause action that will cause harm to other people, then yes, you will be accountable. So, but do you think that, and we pray that it doesn't get to this point, but do you think that you could see the way, like I said, if all of a sudden peaceful protesters are being shot at or shot and killed?
There's a lot of people in the military who are really patriotic, and they believe in the Constitution and the flag. And it would be very hard. And we're supposed to follow all lawful orders. Lawful.
Thank you. I was hoping you were going there. I was teeing it up for you.
Lawful orders. And to just shoot some people because they're just demonstrating, I think they would find that very hard to do. Very hard. Because as we all know, Trump, he doesn't know anything about lawful orders, because he was telling General Milley, well, why don't we just shoot him in the leg or something like that? That's why General Milley doesn't like his ass. And he made that clear. And, lawful orders.
And for those who never served in the military, if you could just break it down to us in its simplest form, just kind of give us an idea what would be in a situation like that, what would be a lawful order, and what would be unlawful.
Well, now, if they happen upon some demonstrators who are demonstrating peacefully, because the ones that Trump was talking about, they were peacefully demonstrating, and someone comes up and tells you, just go ahead and shoot him, that is not a lawful order. That is not a lawful order, because you have absolutely no reason to shoot this person. Even in combat, you're only supposed to go after the people that who are causing the problem. You can't just go into a village and kill everybody. You have to find the enemy. See, even like back during Vietnam, you had people got in trouble for that stuff, where they went in and just wiped out a whole village. You can't do that. It's unlawful. You have to go after the enemy. You cannot just say, okay, I know the enemy's in there, so I'm going to kill everybody. You can't do that. And so when he's telling General Milley, can we just shoot him in the leg? That is an unlawful order. And you cannot carry out that order. So.
And so, how does that work, Master Sergeant? I'm sure you all are taught that. Was it brochures or is it just something? I'm sure it's documented somewhere. I guess there's like a military code of justice. I'm sure.
Oh yes, it's all in there.
So it's on paper. It's written down.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. It's just not something that somebody came up with. It's on paper. So if Trump was to tell, just go ahead and shoot those people. Well, then he's guilty, of not following the Constitution and the military justice.
Thank you. This has been a great conversation. Thank you for educating us. So I want to wrap this up on a positive note. You have served this country along with so many other of our family members personally in our family and millions of other families around the country. We are really in a perilous time. And I paraphrase. I did this last week a couple times. I've done it many times on the show. I'm paraphrasing Dr. King. Said in one of his speeches, we will learn to live together as brothers and sisters, or we will perish separately or divided as fools. As someone who has literally not just fought, but bled, who's got the scars, like you said, who's you about to go under the knife again, and you've had health challenges because of your service and dedication to this country to protect any and every American, regardless of their political affiliation, whatever their ethnic identity was, whether they believed in God or not, if they were poor, broke, and homeless,
didn't matter.
Had a mansion in Beverly Hills. If they were Americans, you were standing on, like I said, in the breach, like you said.
Standing at the gate.
At the gate, defending their right, all of our rights. What would you say to those, not these cult leaders and these billionaires that are taking advantage of this opportunity to make more money and gain more power? That's all. Follow the money. Follow who stands to make money and gain power out of continuing dividing Americans. What would you say is somebody that's, like you said, a true patriot in the truest sense? Look in the dictionary, got the receipts and the medals and the badges and the scars to prove it. You and your family members. What would you say to those Americans to don't fall for this okie doke? I mean, you said it more eloquently, but I just want to give you the last word on what you would say to those who are watching, who may be falling for this banana in the tailpipe in terms of us dividing us. Because like you said, we're doing the job for Putin and Xi. They don't have to launch a missile. They can just get on social media and feed the frenzy and the hate. So speak to that, man, and give us some words of just some common sense and realize, like, we're going to either learn to live together or we're going to perish as fools separately. It's just that simple.
It's time for all true Americans to come together. It's time for you all to come together, wake up, and realize that these people are destroying our country every day. Wake up. If we don't come together, we will perish. We have a target on our backs. We still have a good country, and I know there's a lot of good people out there who don't have a voice, don't know what to do, don't know what to say. It's time for us to all to come together and also to vote. The next time it's time to vote, we need to get rid of all of these Republicans and anybody else that doesn't want to follow the Constitution and do the right thing to help everybody that's an American citizen. We don't need these people who are in this for themselves. The Trump family gets richer every day, and everybody just sits back, like nothing's happening. And it's obvious. These are obvious things. I know you can see it. And I'm talking to all Americans, black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, who I know you can see what's going on. We have to do something about it. We have to get out and vote. We don't have to go kill anybody. Get out, talk to some other people, and vote.
And speak one more thing. I just want you to speak to some of the, especially the young men and women who are serving, who may not have the experience, the gravitas, who are kind of confused. Some of those young men and women that are National Guards or who may be called up and deployed. If there's some words of wisdom that you want to share with them, and I think you did a great job, but I just want to give you the opportunity to speak to them in you all's language as those who have served and those who are currently serving. I'm sure there's a conversation and a language that you all can speak to each other in that you get it immediately. What are some of those words of encouragement and wisdom and
You know
guidance
what?
you like to share with them?
This is real simple. Anybody that's serving in any part of the military in whatever form or fashion, when you raise your hand, you said, I will defend the country against all enemies, foreign or domestic. Foreign or domestic. You don't have to look any farther. You don't have to read anything else. I will defend the country against all enemies, foreign or domestic. That's all you need to do is
And
follow that.
and Master Sergeant, that oath that they took, did they take that oath to a particular person, a commanding officer, or
No,
the Secretary of Defense, or the President, their Commander in Chief? That
nope.
oath, who did they take that oath and swear that oath to?
Hey, to the country. I will defend the country and the Constitution against all enemies, foreign or domestic. And it doesn't say nothing in it about I will follow the president, I'll follow the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the Constitution, and the country. Nothing else matters. As long as you do that, then you're on the right track.
Thank you, man. Master Sergeant Roy Gray, ladies and gentlemen, full disclosure, like I said, he was one of my first cousins. As a matter of fact, we grew up together. I always looked up to him. I was kind of like almost, well, not the baby, because I got two younger sisters, but me and my two younger sisters, we were like the babies of the lot. We got, our cousins were older, and so I used to look up to, Master Sergeant, family, we call him Sonny, and he played football, and I would see him, coming home from practice, with his football equipment and his pads and helmet, and I always looked at him and looked up to him. He always had a no nonsense vibe, even even when we were kids. He just had, some folks, teenagers, like I said, I'm younger than him, but just being like in grade school and remembered, because we actually lived in the same building for a while, and then they moved across the street when he was in high school, and I'd see him coming home. Shout out to his Harper High School, the Harper Cardinals. I can see that red bag, with his football helmet and his equipment, and looking up to him. But he was always serious. No nonsense. He got a great sense of humor. But he was always a serious young man, and he's a serious, not so young man. And I salute you for your service and sacrifice. And I just not just I salute your service and sacrifice, but your family. So I've looked up to you and admire you and love you, and you've always been a voice of reason. So just want to thank you for that, and thank you for being a contributor to the show. I will be reaching out to you. He's reached out and tell him that. So we won't go into the full story, but Master Sergeant reached out to his congressman's office and gave them like an hour, earful for an hour. So you would probably recommend that to reach out to these, even if even if you didn't vote for them, they
That's
represent
right. Call
you.
them.
So hold them accountable, right?
Call them.
All
Let
right.
them know how you feel.
All right. Master Sergeant Roy Gray.
All right.
He's retired military, Master Sergeant in the Marines. Thank you for your service, your sacrifice, your guidance, your wisdom, and your sense of humanity and unity. You need to listen to what this man said. If you don't want to listen to what I said, listen to what this man said, because he paid the cost to be the boss, and his body. He's wearing those stripes, literally the scars on his body as we speak. All right, thank you, cuz. I love
All
you,
right.
man. Thank you.
All
That
right.
was great.
See?
I'll talk with you after the show.
Okay. See you later.
All right. Let me get back on camera, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Here we go. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 4:30 p.m. live on the West Coast. Tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. The Geno Jones Show brought to you by CojoLLC.com, CojoLLC.com. Courtney Johnson, if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Carolinas, South or North or South Carolina, 843-543-4022. That's 843 area code 543-4022. 843 area code 543-4022. All right. Thank you, everybody. Shout out to everybody, Rosalind, everybody in the chat room. Thank you for your conversation. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel once again, because pretty soon I'll become a YouTube partner. That means that YouTube will monetize this channel, my YouTube channel, and my media company, Geno Media LLC. I only need about 85 new subscribers. As a matter of fact, we're about 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away. The 5-year anniversary, we'll have a month-long celebration, 5 years of the Geno Jones Show, 5 nights a week, right here on the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. So it's going to be a big celebration. I just want to thank everybody for your support. Everybody that's been with me from day one, like day one when it was just my mother watching me, to all the thousands of people that watch the show now. Thank you so very, very much. I appreciate your support. And you can support the show. You can continue to support it. You can support the show financially as a sponsor, like CojoLLC.com. Courtney Johnson, I'd love to have you as a sponsor or advertise part of the Geno Jones Show family, or you can just make a financial contribution. You can support the show financially in the form of a gift or an offering, whatever you want to call it. You can Zelle or Cash App your financial support. If you want to Zelle your financial support, you can do it. Use my email address, Geno Jones Show. That's how you spell Geno Jones. No, the Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Or you can Cash App $ first, $ Dad G Jones. $ capital D like Daddy, lowercase a, lowercase d. Capital G, capital J, lowercase ONES, $ Dad G Jones on Cash App. No amount is too small or too large. $5, 50,000, 5 million, 50 million, 5 billion. We'll do it all. Absolutely got to speak it into existence. So I thank you for your financial support in advance. Thank you so much. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 4:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Once again, thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you to my guest, retired Master Sergeant Roy Gray, U.S. Marines. Hoorah! And I love you. We got to learn to love each other. Dr. King said, we'll learn to live together as brothers and sisters, or we will perish separately as fools. Wise man. Take his advice. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.